Cybertruck goes over a banana, it's just slide goes. Wah, 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 wah,
Done.
wah, wah, wah.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And we have the good angry water in the studio this morning.
I almost worry that it would pick up on the microphone. It's so loud.
It's so loud. I love a sparkling water. This is the good sparkling water.
This is a Topo Chico.
It's a Topo Chico. Like, listen, spare no expense.
I bought them because I needed glass bottles to put Nuka-Cola labels on.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me get a variety. I got a bunch of like the Mexican Coke bottles, but then I was like, in case somebody doesn't want a real Nuka-Cola.
I like that all glass bottles of Coca-Cola are now considered Mexican Coke bottles.
No, but the ones from the liquor store are.
No, they are. But like everybody like calls Coke in a glass bottle Mexican Coke now.
Interesting. No, it's about the type of sugar used mostly.
Yeah. Although that's also false.
Really?
Yeah. The Coca-Cola bottling companies in Mexico have been using corn syrup for a while.
They taste different.
They do taste different.
I wonder what that is.
They're formulated a little different for the local palate.
Yeah.
Like Coke tastes different in every country.
Yeah.
But no, the whole idea that Mexican Coke uses like real cane sugar, that hasn't been true for years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just corn syrup. Everything you eat is corn syrup all the way down.
If you're in America, to be clear, usually.
Yeah.
That one's in Mexico in theory, but like, so then if you're in like the North American
But that's considered
area,
part of the NAFTA.
Yeah.
All hail NAFTA.
Yeah.
That's nothing but respect for my NAFTA. But so we have the good angry water, and the good angry water is so loud.
Yeah. It's full Rice Krispies in here. It's the Rice Krispies commercial with the close up on the crackling.
A snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah. Very, very intense.
Hey, marry, fuck, kill, snap, crackle, and pop.
You know, I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark on which one's which. And I'm going to say marry, crackle, fuck, snap, and kill, pop.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to be clear once again that I don't know which one's which.
I believe Snap is the one in the red that looks like he's wearing like the emo band leader jacket.
Interesting. Okay.
Crackle, I want to say, is the one with the striped sock hat. And Pop is...
I don't think they're kids. I think they're elves.
No, okay, Snap is the little cowboy. Crackle is the one in blue. And then Pop, the one that you killed, is the emo boy, which makes sense.
Oh, wow, no.
I thought maybe you were learning.
No. I would never. Are you kidding?
Learn?
Are you joking?
Not with my NAFTA.
Not with my cereal mascots. There's way better cereal mascots.
Sure. As we all know, the most fuckable cereal mascot is
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because not just because of his build, but because of his good dad energy.
Right. Followed by Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Captain Crunch can get it up? After all of his years of military atrocities, and also the fact that he's pretty old.
Is he in the military?
He's a captain.
I thought he was a pirate.
That's a uniform. That's a naval uniform.
I thought he was a fancy pirate.
He's not a fancy pirate.
Okay,
He's a literal naval captain.
No, I thought he was a pirate. He's always on a ship.
Yeah.
Like the Navy, I guess.
Like the Navy. They're all in ships. That's not a pirate, my friend. Those are Navy dress blues.
I don't know if that's standard order, Anthony.
Well, no, because he is in the serial Navy, which is it's not an American naval outfit.
Well, then we shouldn't really hold him to the, expectations of the Navy.
Let's open that big Navy. Tony in a new tab. If you're going to open that Tony, you got to open it all the way. Also explain yourself, Alex.
Say?
Good morning.
All right. Yeah, we can show that.
Alex, explain yourself.
Yeah.
Good morning. That's all I have to say.
That's it.
That's everything.
That's all he's got for us.
Yep.
That's fair.
Now, that's something I was wondering too, Skywalker. According to the stars on his shoulder, Captain Crunch is not a captain.
Stolen valor?
It's still,
is that what that's called?
Yeah, he might be stealing some valor. Or I think captain is is a nickname more for him. Like he's been in the Navy for so long, everybody calls him captain.
Really?
But-
I don't think that happens in the Navy.
But he's a general at least.
yeah.
He might be Admiral Crunch.
Whoa. I don't think people in the Navy give you a cute nickname that is a real position.
Yeah,
in the
they give you a
Navy.
cute nickname that's a rank,
Yeah.
and then they salute you.
yeah.
That's actually what all of the armed services are about.
Yeah, but not when you actually have.
Right.
Not if it's not when you actually have. I thought he was an admiral. I guess he could be an admiral.
By this point, he should be. And this is what I'm going to tell you. The man has no ambition.
Yeah.
He has no ambition. He's been a captain for what, 50 years?
Okay. Yeah.
You didn't get promoted once?
Sure.
What are you doing?
I think, I listened to a business productivity book that was like, look, there are rocks and there are rock stars, and not everybody has to be a rock star. Captain Crunch is allowed to be a rock.
Sure.
Not everybody wants to climb the ladder, you know what I mean?
But like,
Maybe some people are really content where they're at, and maybe they maintain a decent work-life balance with their current position. And
in
are
the
not interested.
military?
Well, he's not in the American military. He's in the serial military. It's different. Navy.
He once teamed up with Spider-Man.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
To fight the Soggies. Captain Crunch's canonical enemies are the Soggies.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because Captain Crunch fights against soggy cereal.
That sounds...
Yeah, don't look it up with Safe Search off.
No.
But Spider-Man and Captain Crunch did fight the Soggies.
It sounds like they're playing off... We're going to move on from that. What about the Trix Rabbit?
Trix Rabbit, if you're out there listening, go back on your meds. We're your friends.
And we care about you.
And we care about you. And we know that you feel like they kill your creativity, but here's what we're going to tell you. You're a danger to yourself and others.
Especially those children with the cereal.
Especially the children with the cereal, Trix Rabbit.
Anyways.
We've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about so many things. We're going to talk about all of your favorite Sony Pictures films that are coming to theaters.
In theory, they're still going to happen.
We're also going to talk about whether Saige will finally see Lord of the Rings. And
stick around to find out.
And everybody has been talking about Manor Lords in a very, very good way.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a potential follow-up film to The Social Network.
But we want to start off by talking about a game that everybody has been talking about in a bad way.
Oh.
And that is Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, they have been.
Does anybody in the live studio audience still play Tarkov? Tarkov's numbers have been steadily declining.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising. If you're an online shooter and your name does not begin with Fortnite,
Right.
you get your time in the sun and then you got to mosey.
Or Call of Duty.
Yeah, but they release a new one every year to make that happen.
That's true.
Whereas
A
like
CSGO.
a Cisco.
Yeah.
Wild, Wild West. But Tarkov has been around for a while and they're trying to stay around. They're absolutely trying to stay around.
Sure.
And one of the ways that you got to stay around if you're a company is you have to make money.
Yeah. I think sometimes companies have this idea of like, well, if people give us money, they will be reinvested in playing our game or
Right.
doing our thing.
Yeah, there are two different times when a company, when a video game will ask for your money. Number one is when they need it for profit, and number two is when they literally want to reactivate your sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Like that's a standard part of marketing that they do.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, we don't necessarily need the revenue bump,
Yeah.
but we need the mind share bump of actually charging people money right now and letting them know that the game has value.
Right.
Tarkov needs both. And Tarkov decided to release a special edition that costs $250
Whew.
for the Unheard edition. And one of the reasons that people might want to pay the $250 for the Unheard edition is that there's a PvE mode, which people have been asking for a very long time. And it is only available to the people who buy the $250 Unheard mode.
Now, this is particularly about like enacting people that will stick around and play the game, because with it, they're promising free future DLC.
Right. Well, here's the thing that's
But
wild
they've
about
promised that before.
Yeah, the last version of Tarkov you could buy was the Edge of Darkness edition of Tarkov, which was promised to have future DLC. And I guess they were like, well, we'll get to that. But before we do that, do you want to buy Tarkov again?
Yeah.
Like the future DLC is still coming.
So then PvE isn't considered DLC, so it doesn't count?
Now, that's a great question, Saige. And there is an answer from the Tarkov developers, Battle State. They released a statement that said, now, the new game mode is not DLC, because DLC, in our understanding, is major additions to the game, including various functionality and content that are released after the official release of the game as a themed DLC pack, which to me sounds like what this is.
Well, you had everything until the word themed.
Yeah.
Which DLC doesn't have to be themed?
No. DLC, if we all remember, the first DLC was literally armor for a horse. There was nothing else themed about that. I guess the horse armor was themed to match everything else in the game.
Yeah.
But remember that DLC does not, it's literally downloadable content. It could be anything. It could be free. It could be paid. It could be a single skin. It could be a horse armor. It could be an entire game mode.
Hey, question. Why do we call it DLC and not just DC? Download's one word.
Well, because download used to be DL and still is DL. Like if
Now
you're looking
something
at-
else is DL.
Something else is also DL. But when you look at like your upload, download.
That was both of us lowering our sunglasses, to be clear. That's what this is.
Upload, download is still
DL.
DL and UL.
Huh.
So weird.
Weird.
But so here's the deal. They said that this can't be DLC because there's no themed, even though it is themed. The theme is the Unheard edition,
Yeah.
which is all wrapped up in this specific packaging and marketing. So even by your own definition of DLC, this is DLC.
Yeah.
And Tarkov players are pretty bummed.
I'd be pretty bummed if I was a Tarkov player.
Now, Tarkov, somebody in the live studio audience talked about this. Tarkov has a very dedicated audience.
Yeah.
So while their numbers are not huge, their numbers,
I mean, they're still huge.
historically have been pretty consistent. They are dropping, but they're not dropping precipitously the way we see with some of these shooters when they're done.
Yeah.
But they haven't been growing in a long time. And the reason people love Tarkov is it has that stalker sort of theme to it, that post-apocalyptic inventory management. Can everything fit in the bag?
Right.
And of course, if you buy this edition, you get extra slots for your bag, right?
Sure.
And that's something where we've all been acclimated to.
Yeah.
Like when you say that, I do roll my eyes, but I'm just like, fuck. So I'm going to have to juggle more stuff than everybody else does. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not paying. Fine, whatever. I'm used to it.
Okay. And they can justify it by being like, well, you get more stuff now. Need more slots.
Need more slots.
You're welcome.
And then the other thing that the Unheard edition has, and I guess this is the reason why the name is Unheard. It's the only thing that fits the theme that I've seen. NPCs do not get aggressive towards you if you have the Unheard edition, as soon as they will get aggressive towards other players.
That's fucked.
It's extremely fucked. So NPCs won't see you from as close, and they won't get as angry at you.
That's unbelievable.
Changes
Now,
the
wait a minute.
entire behavior of the game.
Now, as somebody who hasn't played Tarkov, are there NPCs in PvP mode? Because if this is PvE mode, isn't the PvE mode exclusively available to these people?
Now, that's a great question.
I actually don't know.
Hey, people are saying yes, there are.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
There are survivors and people. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, but I don't want to like.
I'm not a first person shooter person. I'm not a shooter person in general. I'm not a Tarkov person. So thank you for answering that.
So basically, if you're on the map and somebody else is on the map and you're
Yeah.
approaching a facility,
Yeah.
and you have the Unheard edition, and the other person has the gross, disgusting last year Edge of Darkness edition, stupid edition for babies. The NPC will fire at your friend before they fire at you.
Now that's pay to win. Now that is pay to win. We can talk about the inventory slots being pay to win and all the new stuff, but that is pay to win. Because here's the thing, it's upsetting enough that there is an entire game mode that is paywalled behind a $250 purchase. That was enough.
Yeah.
I can't believe it got worse.
Now you would imagine if we pull off our week of announcement hats, you would imagine that down the road somewhere, our reactionary clickbait hats, if you which are different hats.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think they are, but
They're
they
stacked
are.
on top of each other.
Mm-hmm. We put a hat on a hat quite a lot.
What hat are we putting on?
We're gonna put on our critical thinking and logic skills hats together. We don't have those, do we? We ordered them. I'm gonna pretend that we have them.
Okay. Yeah.
Eventually, this mode will be made available for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
On an infinite timeline, this mode comes out for everyone. Maybe you do have to pay for it separately.
Yes.
But it's gonna happen. But it happens for the people that pay $250 first. And when they were asked why, I mean, literally the head of the studio said, "Oh gosh, first of all, I'd like to say I'm very sorry that fans in the game community in general are experiencing these feelings. I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm so sorry you feel that way.
I'm so sorry you feel that way.
I'm sorry you feel like $250 is too much to play our game.
I'm sorry you feel like my bad decision was bad. Unfortunately, I somehow did not foresee the fact of such a reaction, and now I have drawn conclusions for my future decisions." That doesn't mean they're changing anything. It just means like, oh, in the future, I'll think about this $250.
Hey, Alex, can we cut to my screen with audio? Can we have a little sound? Just kidding. I don't even have sound. What's
Just kidding.
sound?
But
What is sound?
you all know this bit.
Again in the Gulf is a tragedy. We are deeply sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry.
Uh,
We're sorry.
along with a montage of Brennan Lee Mulligan in every single one of those tech CEO sketches he used to do.
Yeah.
Now, he did at the end thank players for their time, love, and hate. He did say thank you to my haters, which is important.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
But thank you to my haters.
Thank you to my haters, everybody. And thank you for your increased attention to the current situation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, I will say with the Tarkov studio, there is always an issue where of translation.
Sure.
But you get this one read over by a second pair of eyes.
PR?
Yeah.
But like PR. Like localized PR for wherever you were releasing said apology.
Now, they did decide.
I don't think that thank you to my haters is a language barrier issue.
No.
I gotta say it before we move on. I don't think the issue was a poor translation when he said thank you to my haters.
No. That one's pretty. But what I'm saying is like we could give them some benefit for this sounding a little harsher or weirder to us than it might have. But thank you to my haters is
when he
is
walked
kind of,
out onto the street and saw somebody in an Escape from Tarkov shirt and spit in their eyes. Was that a translation issue or like a cultural difference? Maybe.
Yes. That's how you greet very close friends. No, and now remember the actual statement was thank you for your time, love, and hate. And thank you for your increased attention to the current situation. So he didn't actually say thank you to my haters, but he did say thank you to my haters.
He looked through those like slotted glasses that were really popular in 2010, I think because of Kanye West.
The shutter shades. The Kanye shutter shades.
Yeah. And he turned his hat to the back and then he sat on a chair wrong.
Yeah.
Sat down here.
He sat on a chair backwards and that chair was on a hoverboard.
Yeah.
And that hoverboard came at you, burst into flames.
Exactly.
He fidget spinned.
And said, thanks for the love and the hate. And then he threw the shutter shades out the window.
He said, any engagement's good engagement. Now, after everybody's complaints, they did say, okay, you babies. Okay, you absolute whiny babies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who bought the Edge of Darkness, the gross, dirty, yucky DLC from last year.
It wasn't $250. It was a year old.
We guess you can have the PvE mode. But it doesn't come to everybody. It just comes to the people who bought the Edge of Darkness DLC. And It's only coming in waves because they said that they don't have the server bandwidth or resources for everybody to play the DLC.
We don't have room for all the pores, okay?
Listen.
Fine, you got me, okay.
Here
we
in the
didn't
vaults-
make room on the servers for all the pores.
Here in the vaults, we only have room for about 3,000 people per vault.
Yeah.
Here in Elysium,
Uh-huh.
we simply only have one of those booths that cures every disease.
Exactly.
And the line is like, you gotta make a reservation.
If everybody had health care, the lines would be so long.
It'd be so long, and then what? And then everybody's alive, and then the lines get longer for everything.
Ugh.
Blah.
Don't have room for the pores.
So yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. Edge of Darkness, they did say that Edge of Darkness perks will be balanced. We will remove prioritized matching option to keep everyone in the same spot. And we will add more unique stuff to highlight the Edge of Darkness version in general. So that means that, all of the, in addition to all of the other perks, the quick and advanced matchmaking perks that the people got with the new DLC also will be shared with people that have the old gross icky DLC.
Now, how about the favorable treatment from NPCs?
What?
Not mentioned?
Huh?
Are the NPCs still going to shoot at me first if I have the last year's DLC that you promised all the DLC with? Because like that would make this kind of unplayable. Like if there is somebody who is having an easier time. Have you heard of pay to win? Because like that's kind of the definition of pay to win. If it is harder for me to win, like literally, like
I'm sorry.
people are more hostile towards
right.
me.
No, my mouth is full of beverage, so I can't speak.
But you're talking right now.
Yeah, I can't
Is
though
this
because
a
my mouth
language
is full.
issue?
It's a language barrier. Come here, give me your eye.
Good Lord. Hey guys, that's real bad. If any of you are players of Escape from Tarkov, I'm curious how this makes you feel. I'm curious if this makes you not want to continue playing, if you're not somebody that did invest in the new DLC. I feel like that would be the kind of thing for me that's like, done. I know it's hard because a lot of people that play this game have years of investment in it too. So it's not that easy to just be like, okay, well, I guess I'll stop playing the game I've been playing. How long has Tarkov been out? 100 years
Yeah,
too?
700 years.
200 years?
I want to say Tarkov got big during the pandemic.
200 years? Alex can find out probably.
Yeah, find out.
So I
Tarkov
get
was
it.
2017. It went into closed beta. And I
So-
want to say it really blew up around the pandemic.
So that's a long time. I
Yeah.
get it. You got years of investment in this game. So I'd love to hear from those people if you do.
I think I'm probably going to finally buy it. This is what's going to do it
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a cool 250.
I like any game where I can immediately walk in and be better than everybody else
You know,
who
it is
has
one
been
of those-
playing it for years.
It is one of those hard things where once a shooter's been out for a while, if you don't get it, like if you don't get in on it immediately,
We talk about this all the time.
the curve of skill is just impossible to catch up on. It's like not even worth getting into a shooter late because people are too good now.
But what
They
if it
figured out
makes
too much?
all the enemies in the game like me?
So that's what I'm saying.
What
Maybe,
if it's a
Yeah.
situation where I walk into the Mushroom Kingdom and the Koopas give me a little kiss?
hey, maybe pay to win is good.
That's all we're saying.
Guys,
Clip it.
have you considered that maybe pay to win is actually great?
Clip it. We said it and we mean it. Put it out there.
Maybe the pores should lose.
Can I read you something from the Wikipedia page?
I would love for you to read us something from the Wikipedia page, Alex.
Okay, there's a subheading called Exclusion of Female Characters.
Oh, on the Wikipedia.
Uh-huh. On their Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Which is, in a 2016 interview, one of the game developers stated there would be no women or playable female characters in the game because women can't handle that amount of stress. There's only place for hardened men in this place.
Yeah.
And then after
Only men
apologizing
can escape from Tarkov.
for the employees' comments, they still said there would be no playable female characters due to game lore and, more importantly, the huge amount of work needed with animations and gear fitting, etc.
How many times have
God,
we
it
heard
would be
this before?
so hard to animate women.
So
How
hard
many
to
times have we heard
animate
this?
titties.
It's just too hard to animate women. This has literally been a line that game developers have been giving us since probably 2013. We just don't animate women. Ugh. That's ridiculous. Just the boob physics alone will take us 18 days and millions of dollars. because we all huddle around the computer and watch the boobs bounce when we add them. Productivity goes down. Nobody gets any work done. We don't deliver any of the code. Because Michael's over there adding the boobs bouncing. Then we got to decide. Are they double Ds? Are they triple Ds? Do we go to Fs? How do we figure out how to put women in this game? It turns out that when you give a woman an 8-inch waist, like they should have, none of the gear for the women fits on the characters. It looks silly. And we don't have time to model and texture hot pants. So what are the women going to wear? That's all we're saying. We don't have time to make our characters breast boobily down the stairs.
Let's talk about something else.
We just got a new Saige in. I don't know if y'all know this, but it's sort of a prestige thing. It's like the end of the Prestige, where every time something in the industry makes Saige black out,
Yeah.
we simply put one Saige in the incinerator,
Yeah.
and a new Saige comes out.
Yep. Yeah, I see it. Well, everybody. Let's talk about a different game.
Sure.
Let's talk about Manor Lords.
People are loving the Manor Lords.
People are loving Manor Lords. I saw somebody in chat be like, I tried Manor Lords this weekend. It's so hard. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try it. No, I haven't gotten
haven't
to
yet?
yet. No,
Oh, man.
I was totally MIA this weekend.
I know it's been on your list.
I think I might try it this evening.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see about that. Maybe it's a tomorrow thing. But people are really getting in it now.
Yeah.
It is out. It is available. It is here. People are playing it, and they're getting a little bit of resistance. It's harder than a lot of people thought it was going to be in strange ways.
Okay. I mean, when we talked about it on the show last week, it did sound incredibly complex.
Yeah, so it is a medieval strategy sim. It is about trying to build a thriving community in times of great hardship with plagues and pores and famine. There's a lot of pores in this episode if it's too early.
Ain't nobody got the Tarkov.
And nobody's got time for pores. Now's a good time to say we both grew up poor. I just want to put it in that context.
Yeah, that's why I hate them so much. It's because of my self-loathing.
Yeah. Now, something you want to do is you build up initially a camp. You have people in like tents, and you're trying to elevate your community, getting everybody in houses.
You want to build
right?
a feudal system.
Yeah.
The best system.
Yeah. But people are having trouble because they won't move into the houses. So they're having like a homelessness crisis in their game because they're building houses and their villagers will not adopt them.
Oh, no, that's real. That's based on real life. These people actually don't want homes. The unhoused actually do not want. You could offer the unhoused people in your city a house, and they would simply say, no, thank you. I'd like to do a drugs and violence.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the government's been telling me.
Manor Lords is having the same problem that Republicans think that America has, which is I don't understand it. These people just don't want to work and have houses.
Yeah, why don't they just want to work and have a house?
It's weird.
You could walk up to them and you could say, here's a job in house, and they would say, "Boh."
They would say, nay.
Nay, my lord.
Not I. I would rather stay upon the streets and do my drugs.
I choose instead to tarry, my lord, among the fields and play amongst the face circles of mushrooms that grow there.
Yeah. I saw that on the news.
Yeah, I saw that
on the news.
I did. I saw that. Somebody was on KTLA last night.
Yeah. You know when you go to the local Chinese restaurant and he's always got the news on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it last night on the news. They offered one of the unhoused people in Los Angeles a house and a job, and he said, "Nay, my lord, I choose to continue my dalliance until the end of spring.
Yeah.
For the morrow is of no concern to me."
And the kind lord offering the housing simply wept.
Simply wept. For there was no charity to be done, even though his heart was the most charitable of all.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought Tarkov.
So people talking about it and in the reviews of it talking about it on Reddit are like, I don't understand. I have houses. The homeless people won't take them. Approval is not the issue here. I was at 90% before the homeless people arrived.
So
again, this is what all the mayors in Los Angeles say too.
yeah, I was at 90% approval before people brought up the homeless situation.
I had a 90% approval rate until people noticed all the homeless people.
Until people were like, hey, there aren't any social programs in this city.
Wait
Until people
minute.
realized that, they really loved me.
God, it is so funny. And they're just like at a loss for it. They don't understand. They're like, what do I do?
So did anybody figure out what's causing it?
No, not really. People are just trying different things right now. They say, anyone else getting an issue with homelessness not going away? All my families are in houses. There's even a few to spare, yet my approval rating is stuck at 49% and down a point due to the homelessness. There was one family that refused to move into any house. When I upgraded my homeless camp to a workers camp, I demolished the workers camp, forced them into a house, and it didn't fix the homeless issue. They said started a new game, didn't upgrade the homeless camp this time, and that worked for them. Last family filled up the last house and no one is homeless now. However, my approval rating is still not rising over 50% due to previous homelessness.
Oh, people remember all the bad things I did. Oh, I'm sorry. So now I'm doing better and people still remember all the bad things I did?
I guess people just can't grow and improve, huh?
Wow. Really makes you think. According to the developers, Hooded Horse spokesperson Joe Robinson said, we've seen the same reports. While on the surface, they can appear to be the same top-level issue, there are a few things that could be going on. Some are by design, but others are connected to known bugs that are being addressed. One of them is that burnt-down homes cannot be rebuilt. They aren't considered the same home.
Yeah.
And so a family whose house has burnt down, if you rebuild it, they don't recognize it as their home.
Yeah.
Because no object permanence.
Yeah.
That's why there needs to be a feudal system, is because the people at the bottom don't even have object permanence.
Or maybe they have so much object permanence that they're like, that is definitely a different house. If you burn down a house and build a new house, it's a new house. That is not my house.
Same place, and we're saying it's your house. Come have it. Come have house.
Look at that. That's not the wood that was my house. I know the wood that was my house.
Okay, but like you don't have a house right now, and we're offering you this house as a replacement for your house that's gone.
That's not my wallet.
That's my wallet. How did you get my wallet? One of the other ones is that upgrading the starting family camps can actually cause them to never move to nearby plots until you demolish those camps. Like
so that was the problem they had, yeah.
And then finally, even if you solve the homelessness issue, the corresponding negative modifier can hang around for a bit, is what the developers say.
Yeah, the people remember. The people remember that you were a bad leader.
Yeah,
you were a bad lord.
The North remembers.
So Manor Lords is still in early access, so it makes sense that there are some bugs throughout, but it seems like people are having a lot of fun with it. It is climbing and decimating the Steam charts right now, knocking a bunch of games down.
It sold 1 million copies in a day, and it's the highest ever Steam player concurrence for any city building game.
So it has it exploded to over 150,000 concurrent players. And that does not include the Game Pass players because it's on PC Game Pass.
That's right.
That's wild. So that was just Steam. It pushed ahead of Helldivers 2 in concurrent players and made it the top seller on Steam in front of CS2.
That also means that it has had a bigger Steam launch than any of the Civilization games and City Skylines.
That's wild.
It is the biggest city builder / town management / whatever.
Yeah. Skywalker asked, is The Sims considered a city builder? It is not a city builder. It is a life sim.
Yeah, it would be up against SimCity.
It would be up against SimCity, like you said, Civilization,
which
Age of Empires.
Modern sim games have not had good launches.
Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition?
No, I mean The Sims.
Oh, yeah, not city building Sims.
Yeah. No,
literal Sims.
The Sims series has not had like great launches. Because
I feel like, I don't know. For Sims 4, what the adoption rate was at the time.
In the beginning, not high.
Yeah.
Because people were mad.
Right.
And then, of course, I believe it was also on, it's EA, so it was on Origin
I think
or
it
Play.
was on Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was
And
Origin launcher.
And so it was like people didn't want to buy it because of that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of reasons. But this is the one, apparently.
Yeah.
Although there are other ones, Saige.
Yeah.
There are other ones. And it brings me to something that I've got to talk about with you.
Tell me.
So first of all, this is a 1-2 punch here.
I'm frightened.
First of all, Tales of the Shire had its first trailer.
Oh.
Have you watched the trailer?
I have
for
not seen
Tales
the trailer.
of the Shire. It's very good. This is Tales of the Shire is of course the cozy Lord of the Rings game.
Now,
I have the trailer up on my
this
stream.
is a lot cuter than I thought it was going to be.
Oh,
What
it's
the hell?
cute.
Wait, I didn't know it was going to be cute. All we had seen before was like the book.
Yeah.
Okay, the grippers are a little much.
Yeah, well, Hobbit feet are always there. That's the whole point of Hobbit feet.
It was a little much on the grippers.
Is that they have weird grippers.
Yeah.
But this is basically, hey, no adventuring for me, please, as the hobbits are wont to say.
Uh-huh.
This is, I'll simply live in the Shire and have multiple meals every day.
Shit.
So this is a game where you simply build the Shire and enjoy life in the Shire.
Oh no, it is. Like it's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. You're
Hobbs
farming.
and Hammer said it's Disney Dreamlight Valley, but Lord of the Rings. It is. That's so Dreamlight Valley, but Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You're cooking, you're farming, you're harvesting, you're building, you're decorating, you're doing all the things.
Wow. Now, when you said
This is Middle Earth and Friends. This is the power of the Embracer Group.
Now, when you had said, is this going to be the thing that finally gets you to watch Lord of the Rings? I thought you were referring to Lord of the Rings coming back to theaters.
Well, that's
And I
the
was
second
like,
part of this story.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
But listen.
But this could be the thing. However,
Look at her skip around.
However, Anthony, as you know, I have seen the Hobbit movies.
So
I
fucking weird.
still don't
to me.
have to watch Lord of the Rings.
It's so fucking weird
I
to me.
still
that
don't have to watch Lord of the Rings. I've seen The Hobbit. I could play this.
You've seen both of the Hobbit movies? All of the Hobbit movies?
Yep.
7 of the Hobbit movies?
I think there's 2 or 3.
There are 3 Hobbit movies.
Yeah. Maybe I've only seen 2. I've seen at least the first 2.
It's coming out. It's happening. Middle Earth and Friends. It's real.
Do we have a date for it?
It just says coming 2024. It's
Whoa,
before
coming this year.
Coming before the end of this year.
Damn.
It says here, create and personalize a Hobbit with an array of customizations to
Yeah.
experience the world
Yeah.
of J.R.R. Tolkien's beloved Middle-earth universe
Yeah.
your own way.
Yeah.
Settle in and decorate a cozy Hobbit home, choosing from an array of furniture and home decor to create your unique, humble abode.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Then head outdoors to Bywater for plenty of cooking, fishing, foraging, gardening, and more relaxing activities in the Shire.
Yeah.
And then the ring wraiths come.
What?
The Nazgul will descend upon your village. Yeah, you don't know any of that. No, because that wasn't covered in literally any of the Hobbit movies.
No.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know what that.
But Lord of the Rings, that is the 1-2 punch of this. Lord of the Rings is returning to theaters next month. Well, I guess, no. It's technically, yeah, it's a month. It's basically May. It's coming in June.
Okay. All right.
And it's basically May.
It's going to be May.
It's going to be May.
Ah,
It's coming to Fellowship of the Ring is coming on June 8th. Two Towers on June 9th. And then Return of the King on June 10th.
I like that they are not like, hey, we're playing them all day like the Star Wars marathon is doing. I like that they're doing one a day, actually.
Dude.
And then you can go to different showings of it. Like you see it at some point during that day. That's actually pretty good.
Now,
I'm not mad at that.
yeah,
That's
because
not a bad way to do this.
especially because they're not showing the theatrical cuts, they are showing the extended versions with, and this is what's going to, you're going to see some controversy about this, Saige, with the 2020 director's cut restorations for the Blu-ray.
Is that like when they put in CGI Jabba?
It's like when they put in CGI Jabba. It's a little less gross. It mostly is problems with color correction and like things just look a little different and weird. They didn't like replace whole models or anything,
Okay.
but they did make some choices with the color.
Interesting. Okay.
People are not fans of there's some people that are not fans of those Blu-rays.
Got it.
And these will be the Blu-ray versions. I personally, I don't know enough about a Lord of the Ring. I mean, I do,
Yeah.
but I don't care enough about a Lord of the Ring to care about the color timing in the 4-hour version. Like, it takes a lot to get me to sit down and watch one of the 4-hour versions. I think I told you, I have some friends who, like, first day of the new year, after New Year's Eve, everybody wakes up, goes to their house, and you just be lazy all day and watch Lord of the Rings movies.
Which is like sweet. I love that for them.
It's cute. I don't stick around the whole day, and I certainly don't want to watch all 3 back to back.
Our friends are really divided on this. There's a few of us that have never seen Lord of the Rings, but I will say the numbers are dwindling. It's getting down to just me, because it was me, Kaylee, and Abria.
Right.
And now Kaylee and Abria have both watched them at days that I could not attend. So I might be the last friend in the group that has not seen the Lord of the Rings.
And like, amongst you, whomst has read The Lord of the Rings?
Oh, nobody, probably.
Okay.
I don't know. Josh has, I bet.
Okay. But he's seen the movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody who has not seen the movies has read the books.
Okay, yeah. Because if you had read the books, you probably would have wanted to see the movie.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Seems like a big commitment to then not, finish it out.
Right.
That'd be kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So our friends are very divided. We've got like maybe half the friend group that's like, it has to be the extended cuts. Extended cuts are nothing. And then we've got you on the other side that's just like, not necessary. Just watch the fucking movies.
Watch the fucking movies. They're great movies. They made $1 bazillion dollars. They jump-started fantasy back into mainstream pop culture.
Great.
They are amazing. Like, they set the standard for special effects. They're great films. And they didn't release the director's cut in theaters.
Yeah.
It's fine. If looking
They
at
did now.
If looking at a 16.5-hour commitment makes you go, I don't want to do it,
It does.
then do the 8-hour commitment.
Right. That's a lot less. That's like a lot less. It's not like a little. If it was like, hey, it adds 30 minutes to each movie, I would be like, well, yeah, sure. Okay.
It adds a movie to every movie.
That's wild. I didn't actually realize it was double.
It double it, give it to the next person.
I will,
That's
because
what
I'm
it
not
is.
keeping it.
It's literally the difference between if you bought the regular edition and then you bought the director's cut. The director's cut came on 2 discs.
Damn.
You had to swap discs to watch
that.
the fucking Lord of the Rings.
I hate that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't like about it is
I
like,
don't want to do that.
if you got what, like a laser disc? Like I gotta flip it? Like a cassette player? Like a cassette player in a car?
good.
No, thank you, sir.
Some commentary from chat. One, Alonzo said, stay strong, Saige. They're trying to get me to stick with it, to be the person who hasn't seen The Lord of the Rings.
But I think she'll enjoy The Lord of the Rings. If she'd enjoy it, don't we want her to see it?
Do you think Alonzo wants me to be happy?
I don't know. His whims are mysterious and capricious.
Very true. But also, good take from the tension. Seems like a lot of time to spend watching men.
That's true. That's true. And as we all know, if we've watched the montage of every scene of Lord of the Rings with multiple women, have you watched that video?
No. Why would I have watched that video?
Oh, this is I
haven't seen The Lord of the Rings.
I don't want to pull it up because this is going to make you never watch The Lord of the Rings.
What is it? Summarize this for me.
I can't summarize it. It's a 15-second long video.
Oh, then we got to watch it. Are we going to get in trouble for watching literally Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, let's just put this on.
Are we going to get in trouble for just streaming Lord of the Rings? It's only a 15-second video. That's all the clips of women?
This is a third. Okay, so this is the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it's every scene where 2 female characters interact. It is a 42-second long video with an opening.
Yeah, I think we have to, right? Have audio, but let's do it low.
All right.
Wow, this is a long intro. This is 8 seconds of it. 10.
No, 15.
Oh my God. I'm on a delay. Holy shit, we're almost halfway through it.
No, we're good.
There hasn't been any women yet. One's a child?
The Lord of the Rings.
Okay, stop
The Lord of the Rings, everybody.
No. Does it have a spot on their Wikipedia that's about the lack of women? Does it have a spot on there that's like the choice to exclude women?
Now, here's the deal. The choice to exclude women began with the great J.R.R. Tolkien, who didn't have women interact in the books. Women simply didn't interact in the books either. A part where two women talk to each other in The Lord of the Rings?
What do we got, Alex?
Maybe the Silmarillion if you're lucky.
Oh my God, there is!
Yeah.
What
there's
does
a
it say?
section,
It says Roles for Women, Step in Time.
With a subheading, A Story About Men for Boys. And there's another section that's Few But Powerful Women.
So there are women, but they mostly talk to
And then the section
Aragorn.
is The Powerful Women. And it's Galadriel, Eowyn, Arwen. And then there's other women. Not powerful
One
women,
is
but
just
other women.
What? There's a category just called other women?
Yeah, because if you asked me to name the women in Lord of the Rings, that's what I would have said. I would have said Galadriel, Eowyn, and Arwen.
And then there's Rosie Cotton,
Yes, Samwise Gamgee's beloved.
Lobelia Sackville Baggins.
Yep.
Who was modeled on an elderly lady that Tolkien knew.
Yep.
And
you met a woman?
was a talkative wise woman. And Gilran briefly mentioned Aragorn's mother.
Look,
That's
here's
it.
the
There's
deal.
Are there
women.
any women in this movie that aren't love interests or mothers?
Yeah, nobody.
Or children?
Nope. I mean, listen, everybody's in love with Galadriel, but Galadriel doesn't care. She's like elven spiritual warrior.
But if
queen.
everyone's in love with her, she's a love interest. Just because she isn't reciprocating.
She's not.
If the men are the main
No.
character.
She's not presented that way, but everybody is in love with her. But it's not presented that way in the film. I'm not going to tell you that The Lord of the Rings is great about women. If you're looking for me to take the counterpoint, I can't do that. We can't have an argument about it because The Lord of the Rings is not great for women.
Are you telling me that half of our friend group has been trying to convince me
Giant
to
spider's a
watch-
woman. Giant
to
Shelob the
watch-
giant spider's a
to
woman.
watch 16 hours of men?
Yeah, that's why I say don't watch the director's cuts. That's why I say don't watch. You could argue that there's definitely an argument within the community of whether elves in general and Legolas is non-binary. But that's an argument that's a real death of the author thing. It was certainly not meant that way. The giant spider is a woman. Somebody did mention Shelob, the giant spider. She is a woman, and she is turned into a hot woman in one of the video games, even though she's a giant spider. One of the video games turned her into a hot lady from a giant spider. It was that Tony Hawk's Pro Orc Killer 2, Shadow of War. They turned the spider into a hot lady.
Other women?
Because who's going to listen to a spider?
The category is other women?
Wait, but do you know what that means? That means spider harder to animate than woman. We're figuring it out.
Wait, well, because there was no spider in the game?
No, the spider, Shelob, the giant spider, who attacks and almost mortally wounds our sweet boy in Mordor. She's a lady. She's the lady queen of the spiders.
Yeah.
She is turned into hot lady.
Yeah.
In the game. Could you look up Shelob in the Shadow of Mordor games?
No.
Yeah, and here's the
Listen.
thing. That means that it's easier to animate lady than it is to animate spider. So
Tarkov, your move.
Yeah, if there are spiders in Tarkov.
I looked it up. That's what I was looking up, was to see, are there spiders in Tarkov?
There's Shelob, and she's definitely not supposed to look like a goth Arwen. She's definitely not supposed to just be Arwen, but goth. We can say that.
I'm just left with so many questions.
Did you see the picture of Shelob?
I did.
Pretty good.
Great.
She used to be a spider.
Not even in the fucking movies.
No, she is.
Not like that.
No, she's Spider in the movie.
Not a woman.
No, she turns into a woman for special occasions only. If you're going to murder a hobbit, and you have one form that's regular person and one form that's giant war spider, and you need to do a murder,
yeah,
which form do you do it in?
As a common druid player, I would take the giant spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
at least if nothing else, to run me through that HP before I get to mine. You know what I mean?
That's right. She's the real Madam Web.
They would name 2-3 names and then other women.
Other women.
It reminds me, I did a shoot once and they didn't think I was going to see all of the files and footage. And all of the men on the shoot had their microphone, like their audio files named. And there were 2 women on the cast and we were girl 1 and girl 2.
That's right.
I was girl 2.
Better than Spider 1 and Spider 2. Or is it?
I don't think it is actually. I think I'd have taken Spider. All of the men's files had names on them. And the women's audio.
It was Bob,
girl
Dave,
1,
Kevin,
yeah.
girl 1, girl 2.
2.
Okay, so have you ever met a sound person
Unfortunately, yes.
that isn't just absolutely weird?
One time, this is so specific. Okay, I don't care. I don't care what this means to you. Sound guys, statistically, creeps. I'm so sorry. And I hope that if you're watching this and you're like, I'm not a creep, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be a sound person that's not creepy. But the only time, and I remember this so distinctly, when I was actually on Dropout, I went to get mic'd and
humble brag.
And women just dread the experience of getting mic'd, okay?
Yes.
Somebody's got to reach in your fucking shirt, right? It's a whole thing. Polite sound people these days will let you put your own microphone on, but not all of them, right?
Yep.
And I walked up and it was a woman doing sound. And it was the first time I have been in the industry since I was 7 years old. It was the first time I have ever had a woman on sound. In my whole life, I'm 28. It's been 20 years.
Well, they can't because just like they can't go into Tarkov.
Yes, of course.
It's a job for hardened men.
And I looked at her.
That's a euphemism.
So lovingly. And I know this was probably so weird, but I was so relieved to see her. I was just like,
I would not be shocked.
Oh, man.
Out of all the different ways that people can be strange, I would not be shocked if like sound guy was just I'm sorry, I'm a Redditor and I can't speak to women. I don't know what to do. You know, up to and including like, oh, I just didn't think to ask them their names. It could have been any number of terrible things. Terrible, terrible things. Maybe sound guy afraid you're going to turn into giant spider.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it.
That's it.
Now, going back to our main topic of discussion here, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit.
Ooh. Game.
Hobbit game, we're still into.
Hobbit game into. The movies, less into.
I know. And I knew I shouldn't share, and I've tried. You know how hard it is for me when I know that something funny exists to not share it?
Yeah.
I have literally,
it's not
I have kept this 10-second video from you for so long because I knew the moment you saw that video, the door was slammed shut on you ever watching The Lord of the Rings.
You know what though, Anthony? As my friend?
Yeah.
You know I would have noticed in the movies.
Of course you would have noticed, but that's different. If you notice it, which you should and you will, and you obviously would, that's okay.
But then I've wasted 8 hours of my life.
No, because they're still pretty good.
I've wasted 8 hours of my life listening to men talk to each other. I have wasted enough of my life listening to men talk. I simply do not need any more.
One of them's a fun dwarf who's definitely not Jew-coded. I say as a Jewish person, don't worry. The dwarves are historically not Jew-coded in bad ways. You should check it out. You should check it out. It only hates women and Jews.
I'm a woman and a Jew on my mom's side. Both of those things.
Good, because only one of them counts.
Yeah. I'm only a woman on my mom's side too, though.
Good, because that's the only one that counts. Yeah. Girl dads aren't real. Listen, you're gonna love these movies. I don't know how to explain it to you, but you are going to love these movies.
I don't believe you.
I know you don't, and you have no reason to, but I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy The Lord of the Rings. It only hates women and Jews. And people of color. but not actively, just through exclusion. There's also not a dragon in those. There's only a dragon in the Hobbit ones.
Fuck that. I'm out.
There's a big bird.
That's not nearly as cool as a dragon. And everybody's mad at me for only seeing the Hobbits. And I was like, I had a pretty good time with the Hobbits.
Dude, this bird's pretty big.
Me only ever seeing the Hobbits is the best chance that anybody has for me liking The Lord of the Rings.
Dude, I mean, think of the biggest bird you've ever seen.
There are women in The Hobbit.
Yeah. There are women in The Lord of the Rings. There are over 3. There are 3 and
Guys,
others.
There's 16 hours of content.
Yeah, and part of it is a little girl asking her mother, "Hey, when's Dad coming home?" So even that 4 seconds doesn't pass.
It doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
No. But I think you're really gonna like The Lord of the Rings. These eagles are huge, dude. These eagles are massive. You've never seen a bird as big as this bird, dude. Elijah Wood.
It's no Over the Garden Wall, Elijah Wood.
No, of course it's not over the garden wall. I would never tell you that Lord of the Rings is over the garden wall. It was pretty good. They got big birds. Think about it. You think about it. Don't close the door on Lord of the Rings is all I'm saying.
Doors closed on Lord of the Rings.
Some of those birds are probably women.
Maybe.
Probably ladybirds. That's where the word came from. Ladybird.
Yeah?
Yeah. Came from the Lord of the Rings.
I don't think
Came from the Lord of the Rings.
when they put eagles, giant eagles in the movie, I bet they all use he, him pronouns for those eagles.
No, one of them wears a big pink bow.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's got a big pink bow in its hair.
No, it fucking doesn't.
And it goes, caw-caw. See, now you're believing terrible things about the Lord of the Rings.
I honestly it can't get much worse from here. Moving on. Let's talk about other bad movies.
Sure. But
you agreed? I got him. I got him. He said sure. No take backsies.
They're good films.
You heard it here first, folks. Anthony thinks
films.
Lord of the Rings is a bad movie.
They're good films. The Hobbit films, I don't think are good films.
Now, technically, we don't know that Kraven the Hunter is a bad movie.
No.
I couldn't get the...
It doesn't even exist yet.
No, there's like a trailer, so we could go on the trailer. But the movie's not out, so technically we can't say it's a bad movie.
It's Schrodinger's Sony film right now.
Right. Now, if we were to compile all of the data and make a logical conclusion based on the trailer that we've seen and the history of these Sony films, we could probably deduce that it will be a bad movie, but we won't be confirming that anytime soon.
A bad movie like what? Like Morbius?
Like
bad movie like
Madam Web?
Madam Web? I think checkmate, haters. Those are excellent films.
Are you quoting the guy from Tarkov?
I am. I'm the guy from Tarkov right now.
Checkmate haters?
Checkmate haters.
No, that's a language thing. Sorry. Listen, Kraven the Hunter has been delayed from August 30th, 2024, this year, to December 13th, 2024.
Oh, that's the big Christmas Sony movie now? Whoa. Whoa. What is going on over at Sony Motion Picture Studios where they decided it's not the summer one.
Yeah.
This is the Christmas Day film.
Yeah.
Go with everyone you know
Yeah.
to see Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. Take your family to see Kraven the Hunter.
That's a big swing.
I want to point out something in the chat
big
before we move on
swing.
too far. David the Dark and Zine Writer said, taking this kind of stance on a movie made from a trilogy of books written in the 1950s is certainly a way to look at it. I'm so sorry. I forgot there weren't women in the 50s. That's so my bad. I take back everything negative that I said about it.
Yeah.
I forgot that adaptations aren't allowed to actually change the source material to include women or add lines. I forgot that this is an exact, and I do mean an exact, one for one, word for word, recreations of books from the 1950s.
That's right.
When women didn't exist yet.
You
That's
remember-
on me. That's my bad.
You remember the part in the books?
I take it back.
You remember the part in the books with the dwarf tossing joke You remember the part in the books with the shield surfing?
Yeah.
You remember the part in the books where, it goes exactly the way the books do.
When women women didn't start existing until the 1960s, obviously, and they didn't really count until the 90s when they could get a credit card. So
Well, it's like the
how could
world-
somebody have possibly written an interaction where two women talked to each other in the 1950s? And how could you, in making these movies, change a single line from it when everything else in it is an exact, and I do mean an exact reading of the books? Somebody just really
Sage,
wrote down the script in the
Sage,
book and script format.
you have to remember that the world was black and white until 1963.
That's my bad.
All
well,
right?
mostly white.
Yeah, but we didn't even
To be
have,
clear.
the world was black and white.
Uh-huh.
We always shot on color film,
Yeah.
but the world turned color.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Pleasantville?
Yeah.
It's like that.
No. I lied.
You shouldn't watch it. It doesn't hold up.
Mhm.
Now, saying something is an adaptation from the 1950s
Yeah.
and being like, well, that's why it's like that. No. Simply don't adapt it.
Yeah.
If it's fine the way it is,
Uh-huh.
you can simply have it the way it is
Yeah.
as a treat.
But hey,
You don't need to adapt it into a film, into anything, if it's perfect the way it is. If you adapt it
Uh-huh.
and you don't adapt it for the current audience, who are you adapting it for?
I would assume other things
dead
changed.
people?
Did you read the books? Did you read the Lord of the Rings books?
Yes.
Are
I was
they-
a bigger Narnia kid.
Are they exact from the movies?
100% exact.
100% exact?
They didn't change a single thing.
They didn't change a single thing from those
No.
books. Not one.
Not a single
So
thing.
they couldn't have added a line where
Not a
two women
single
talk to each
thing.
other?
There certainly wasn't Tom Bombadil erasure in those movies. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, Sony has decided that their massive Christmas movie
Yeah.
is going to be Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the family Christmas movie.
That's a swing, baby.
That's a big
That's
swing.
a swing.
Now, by doing this, that does also move the Karate Kid, which is moving from December 13th to May 30th, 2025. The Karate Kid is an interesting thing because they announced that they were doing like a worldwide open casting call for the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And then they like never gave any update to that to see if they found anybody from that supposed
No,
worldwide
they never.
casting call.
They never do that.
Yeah.
They always do.
Yeah.
This is like a standard.
Uh-huh.
This is like a standard marketing thing. If you've never seen this, where it's
Yeah.
like we're looking from all around the world for the next person in this musical, the next host of this show.
The next host of G4.
That was my first gig.
Yeah.
My first gig was we are looking for a new host of Attack of the Show.
Yeah.
They already knew they weren't looking for a new host.
Oh, yeah.
But they brought everybody on for a week.
Yeah. I was in the meeting when the reboot did the same thing.
Yeah.
I was in the meeting when they said, well, we're going to tell the people who are already hired as hosts to apply, but it's not really an open search. We've already picked the people.
Now, this Karate Kid, if I remember correctly, is going to bridge the continuities between the Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan
Okay.
Karate Kid
Mhm.
and the original Ralph Macchio, now Cobra Kai
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Mhm.
If I understand, this movie is bringing both of those worlds together in an exciting film that I'm sure will make everybody you know who looks like me, but like maybe 5 to 10 years older,
Okay.
wildly excited.
Okay. Cool.
Everybody else is gonna be like, oh yeah, cool, Cobra Kai.
Yeah. I haven't seen Cobra Kai. I have seen the Karate Kid movies, all the way up through the Jaden Smith movie.
Okay.
I remember the Justin Bieber song they did for it.
I forget that Justin Bieber
They
song.
did a Jaden Smith and Justin Bieber song for the Karate Kid movie.
Was that in the Realize era of
That
Jaden
was
Smith?
before
It was a little before.
Realize.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I do recall the film.
Mhm.
I do recall the film not knowing where karate comes from
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because I don't know, like it was very weird. And I also remember it being like, okay, well, it's cool that they're doing this, I guess.
Sure.
But it wasn't, I don't know. The Karate Kid, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
The first Karate Kid was like the biggest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It was a movie they made for $17
Yeah.
and it became the biggest thing in the world. Like
Sweet.
martial arts schools opened across the United States.
Wow.
Because little kids saw the Karate Kid and said, I'm going to learn karate.
Yeah.
And it literally changed the cultural makeup of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
The one with Jaden Smith apparently had like a pretty good Justin Bieber song, I guess.
Yeah. I don't remember it now,
No.
but I think I'd know the words if it came on. It's in that time. It came out when I was like 14.
Cobra Kai is a pretty good show.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I watched some of it.
Okay.
I didn't stick around for all of it,
Sure.
but you know.
There's been a good bit.
Yeah,
and
there's
people
like-
really like it.
Yeah, there's like 4 seasons or something.
Yeah. That's
watched-
a lot for Netflix.
No, I watched like, well, yeah, it started as a YouTube Red original.
Did it really?
Yeah.
It's Netflix now, right?
Yeah, because YouTube Red originals don't exist.
Yeah. Wow.
It started as a YouTube original when they were trying to get people to buy YouTube. They released like the Logan Paul sci-fi thriller, The Thinning.
Yeah.
Not about his hair.
No, I remember
And
what
then-
Escape the Night. That
Yeah.
was one. That was a Joey
Escape the Night
Graceffa
was
one.
one. But
I didn't watch any of
But
them.
Joey Graceffa kept doing Escape the Night on his own after YouTube Red shut down because it was very profitable for him for a while.
Sure.
But they did that. And then they did Karate Kid. They did Cobra Kai
Fascinating.
because they were like, what license can we buy for nothing?
Wow. And the Karate Kid one was just
It
available
was just
and cheap.
sitting around.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Goose Beezy said
And it
Cobra
fa-
Kai is way better than I expected.
Yeah. And it failed on YouTube Red, obviously.
Well, everything did.
I wonder if it got as many views as that Liza Koshy sitcom where she's a task rabbit.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was called Liza on Demand.
Wow.
And it was about all the wacky misadventures she got into when she gets hired to be a task rabbit by people.
I remember she did a horror series that from the Awesomeness people or something.
It's possible.
God, they were all like, can we make TV shows on YouTube?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, that delay also they haven't announced who their Karate Kid is yet from this worldwide search.
It's because they're looking for the perfect Karate Kid.
Yeah, they're just going out to local studios and looking for the Karate Kid.
There are people from Sony that are climbing mountains
Looking for
in the far
Karate
reaches
kids.
of the earth,
yeah.
looking at small villages barely touched by civilization
Yeah.
to find the perfect Karate Kid. It's a lot like the search for the Dalai Lama.
Oh wow.
It's exactly like the search for the Dalai Lama from Sony's perspective.
That's unfortunate in some ways.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, they got a little more time to keep searching because now they've got until May of next year. You guys know when Craven comes out, of course we're gonna review it.
Of course we're going to
Of course
Craven.
we're gonna review it.
I'm going to
Of course
Craven
we're going
night
to Craven.
one.
Yeah, we're going December 13th to Craven.
That's right.
And then on the Patreon, you're getting a full breakdown of Craven.
God. The Sony Cinematic Spider slate of something, whatever they call it now,
Sure, whatever that is.
is just better and better with every entry. I love it. Can the Karate Kid be a girl this time? They did that in the next Karate Kid.
I haven't seen that one.
It was Hilary Swank.
Huh.
It was early Swank. I think it was post Buffy. Obviously pre-$1 million baby. But
Obviously.
it was early Swank.
Great.
The next Karate Kid.
All right.
Hey, do you want to talk about the Cybertruck?
Oh my God.
Do you want to talk about the Cybertruck?
Literally never, but okay.
If you are unaware, every single Cybertruck is recalled.
Yeah.
Every single Cybertruck, of which we found out that there are only like 3,000. Only like 3,400 people bought this horrible pile of steel.
Which, thank goodness, considering all of the many safety issues. Now, when you think about how many wrecks there has been of these Cybertrucks out of that small number, the statistics become genuinely horrifying. Because I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. So the cause for the current recall is an issue with the accelerator pedal.
Yeah.
The gas pedal is essentially a cover that is slid onto the pedal itself that when your foot is placed upon it can simply slide forward.
Yeah, so you're very cool. Number one, the Cybertruck doesn't have a brake pedal. When you lift off of the accelerator, the Cybertruck just
Wait, it doesn't have a brake pedal?
doesn't have a brake pedal.
You're kidding.
No.
That's so bad for this specifically.
Yeah, exactly. This is what's going on. The Cybertruck does not have a brake pedal. Drew Gooden just did a video where he rented a Cybertruck and he's
Oh my
like,
God.
there's no brake pedal. Like when you lift off of the off of the accelerator, the car just automatically starts braking. Like that's what Drew said. Like there might be a
I
brake
think
pedal,
there
but
is
you
a brake
don't
pedal.
have to use it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you're
think there is
supposed to,
a brake pedal.
Okay. So when you
I don't know. This is all for General Tesla.
I don't believe it does. It does have a brake pedal, and it also overrides the accelerator.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that was the thing.
So
Okay.
one pedal overrides the other pedal.
Mhm.
If you're pushing down on the accelerator,
Mhm.
there's no way to apply any brake. If you're pushing down on the brake, there's no way to apply any accelerator. Fine.
Yes.
Unless, here's what happens.
Mhm.
Your accelerator pedal is covered with something that looks like very cool steel.
Whoa.
Ugh,
But it's not covered very well.
It's just plastic and it slides up. And so if you imagine, I mean, there's a video of it if you can find it, Alex.
Mhm.
There are videos of people showing this thing. But
Yeah.
basically, it slides off your accelerator pedal like a little sock, but stays on.
Yeah.
And there's a little ridge right over
And
your
it
accelerator
fits just
pedal.
right into.
It's exactly, I swear, the way these Tesla problems happen is so funny. There's just enough of a little ridge, a little ledge that just holds on to the little sock. So it can't slide all the way off the accelerator pedal, but it can't slide back down onto the
Because
accelerator
it gets
pedal.
stuck in there because it fits perfectly.
And then your accelerator pedal will not lift up, which means you can't apply brakes. Because remember, one cancels the other out because they're computer controlled.
So, D-Man, who's our local car enthusiast here in the live studio audience, said the brake pedal is not physically connected to the braking system, though, nor is the steering wheel connected to the steering rack.
No,
It's
it's
a pedal,
all computer.
but you can use one pedal mode for battery like regen because
Yeah.
the battery is so bad at these,
Sure.
as we talked about. So it does
Sure.
not necessarily. You can brake. There has been people figuring out that if you hit the brake,
Yeah.
it will override the gas pedal even if it is going.
Okay.
So it's not that the gas pedal is overriding the brake is an issue of like unless you're in one pedal mode, which would be
Right.
a big fucking problem.
But
and
I
that's
think
probably where these
I think
accidents
that's the
are happening.
default mode.
I don't know, but either way,
Because
a lot of people would probably use it.
Right. Because a lot of people are like, this is happening to them and they don't know how to fix
Mm-hmm.
it. Like there have been videos of people that are like, this happened while I was driving and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't
I think
slow
that's the
down.
problem. I think that people don't know what to do. The brake does override.
Right.
So like
But
I want to
that's
make
what
sure
I'm
that we
saying, is
don't
if we're in
misrepresent
the,
it.
But if
yeah.
they're in this single pedal mode,
Yeah.
and the single pedal mode is default,
Yeah.
then that's what's happening.
Right.
Because they're like, I couldn't brake. Because
Yeah.
the video's like, I couldn't brake and I
Yeah.
didn't know why. So it's pretty wild. Go ahead and play it, Alex. We don't need it. We don't need audio on it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Sliding, stuck all up in there.
Yeah, it
Can't
just won't
get it
move.
back down.
Look at
There you
that
go.
weird little divot that it fits into perfectly.
That's wild. That's unbelievable. And that gets your brake pedal stuck down. So it's not that it's just stuck, it is stuck in acceleration.
Yeah. So this is an issue, obviously, but here's what's crazy. This is the issue that finally caused the recall.
Uh-huh.
Out of all of the issues, including things like the actual steel plates not being aligned and like falling off as you're driving. Issues like if you don't put a Tesla into car wash mode before you go through a car wash, it literally breaks the car. This is an off-road truck. This is a truck that you're supposed to take. It's a truck. Trucks are for hauling things. Trucks are for going off-road. They're for going off of clean pavement. If you don't put the car into car wash mode, it simply cannot get wet. And if you feed it after midnight, it turns into a gremlin. It turns into a tiny gremlin, and then it will eat your face. There is a rear view mirror that cannot be aligned to look out of the rear window. It depends entirely on the rear camera, which is so low to the ground that it gets covered in dust instantaneously when you're driving.
Like, it just feels like a fucking prank. Like, it feels like the people who pre-ordered this car got pranked. They were like, and I wouldn't put it past Elon Musk at this point. Now, there's two things. One, I don't want to give him credit as if he would design a better car. I think he's the dumbest person that's ever existed. And I think that if you really did leave him to his own devices, to create a car, he would create the worst, most non-functional, stupid, silly car on the planet.
I think it's good. I think he had a lot. I think he was very hands-on with this.
Now,
I think this is the first Tesla he was this hands-on with.
The second thing that I would consider is that we are at a point where it's like, how much will people spend on this ridiculous, non-functional car? Don't even make it work, because how many things could possibly be that bad on accident?
Saige, people were told that the Cybertruck was going to start at $40,000.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened when they bought their Cybertrucks?
No. Other than the battery being half of what they thought it was going to be?
There is an extra $20,000 tacked on that's simply called foundation fee.
What is a foundation fee?
Foundation fee.
What is a foundation fee?
Foundation fee is basically a $20,000 fee that says, I'm the first person to get a Cybertruck. And eventually, now listen, and eventually I'm going to get auto driving for free instead of, not for free, but I'm getting auto driving for a flat fee instead of the monthly subscription that it normally is to get the full autopilot package on a Tesla. So
when that is available, which it isn't currently.
Right. Currently, the Tesla Cybertruck does not have auto drive, and they don't know when it's coming out. But you had to pay for it in advance. All of these things are wrong, right? All of these things are incorrect. They are simply incorrect. Now, we didn't even get into crumple zones, of which there are none. The car is made not to crumple. We've all seen that video of the Honda that hit the Cybertruck, and the Honda was like wrapped around a tree, and the Cybertruck looks pristine and perfect.
Which they say that like it's a good thing when we all know that like dedicated ways for a car to crumple is about people's safety, so it doesn't fucking kill everybody.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Everybody looked at that video and said, look at the Honda versus that Cybertruck. The person in the Honda was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the person who was in the Cybertruck got injured. Because there is no, crumple zones are meant to transfer the momentum of impact from you to the car.
Right.
Otherwise, you get hit, the car doesn't crumple, the kinetic energy keeps pushing you in the car. If a car crumples when it gets hit, that impact gets absorbed, and you and the car move less.
And not to mention, even if it is just a car that is so uncrumpleable that it literally wraps another car around it, then as Alonzo said, it's a murder machine.
Yeah.
We're just letting people drive around murder machines. And I mean, know that the general concept of a car, you're driving around a 3 to 4 ton hunk of metal, and they're all kind of murder machines that I don't think the average civilian, including myself, should really be trusted with. And really, we should be living in walkable and public transit cities with professional drivers.
Yeah, America also has a huge problem with light trucks. We're one of the only countries that has the loophole for the light truck, which is like in any other country, if you were going to drive a Ford F-250, you would need a commercial driver's license for it.
You should.
The other thing about these Cybertrucks and other trucks, but the Cybertruck in particular, is these trucks are so high up off the ground and have such low visibility that there's, you could line up 10 children in front of a Cybertruck, and the driver—
You really shouldn't.
You really shouldn't, because the driver can only see the 10th child. So pedestrian deaths in the United States have been way up since light trucks have become like the popular form of vehicle. But the Cybertruck in particular cannot see pedestrians, and its incredibly bright LED headlights, which are another bragging point, are blinding other drivers on the road because they're up so high and they are so bright. But the thing that finally got the Cybertruck recalled
is the accelerator
is this
pedal.
slippy little accelerator pedal. What a silly goof. What a silly little goof. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild?
I think when we think about the fact that we live in this like late stage capitalist dystopian society, there are like a few things that come to mind that are like, oh, okay, well, it's, you know, like the unhoused crisis we talked about earlier. It's the lack of healthcare. It's the steady decline of our life expectancy. It's housing prices, right?
Yeah.
It is, everybody in a financial crisis. It's the extremely wealthy. And I don't think we always factor in the little things. And I think this is one of
Like a
those
slippy
things
little
that like
pedal?
should make the list every time. That like this can exist, because it I know this is like overused a little bit, but it does feel like we are in idiocracy.
Oh yeah. The number of things that because of people like Elon Musk, we know a business can get away with. It's just most businesses didn't think they could, so they didn't. He's maybe one of the, I mean, all businesses have people at the head of them that are like, what can we get away with? But some of them are just like, certainly we could not get away with this much, so we won't even try it.
With all this murder potential.
Do you want to know why the pedal's so slippy?
Why?
So they were trying to put the pedal on, the little sock onto the pedal.
The sock.
And it was just so tight. So they were like, we need to make it just a little less tight. So during the application of the pedal, they put soap inside the little socky. Soap, very slippy. And soap break down the glue.
Soap?
Soap.
Soap.
Soap. Yeah. Yeah. It was a lubricant issue. Elon Musk has a lot of those, I'm sure.
We gotta talk about something else. It's almost the end of the show. We gotta talk about something else. It's almost the end of the show.
Here's the flip side of that. You might say, this sounds like a ridiculous thing that could only happen to a baby toy. Well, guess what, everybody? If you bought your kid a Mario Kart ride-on racer, it actually has the exact same problem and has been recalled for the exact same issue. The accelerator pedal of your Mario Kart ride-on racer, unfortunately, will slide upwards and get caught, causing your child on their dumb baby toy to careen out of control. As the father, so the son, Saige.
The inevitability is a Mario Kart ride-on racer with the gas pedal stuck down, zooming, a Cybertruck that cannot see a child with the gas pedal also stuck down, zooming.
Neither one of them have crumple zones. Oh, you can't put a banana on the road. Neither one of those cars will survive.
Neither one of them are gonna stop. Neither one of them are gonna be able to stop.
If that Cybertruck goes over a banana, it's just slide. It goes wow, 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 wow.
If you go through the car wash and you don't put on car wash mode, it's like when you get the little ink splat.
That's right. It's a blooper.
Yeah.
You come out and you're like, oh no! And just like Mario Kart, if somebody unplugs your controller from the screen, you're done. You can't use the car.
Yeah. Neither can off-road very well.
Yeah. If you go even a foot off the track, you immediately slow down. There is, by the way, a situation where people's screens don't work. It's some tiny ribbon cable. You know what I mean? Screens don't work. Because there isn't a single goddamn button or switch on the Tesla, if your screen stops working, you cannot drive the car. Car may be running.
Maybe. Now what? How do you make it stop running?
Yeah, you better call Lakitu.
I think that's all the news we can do today. I think that's where we gotta leave it. I'm so sorry. Oh, I think that's it. Everybody, listen. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Today is an odd one. It is what it is. Thank you so much. And if you enjoy this and you want more of it, go to patreon.com/pixelcircus. Starting at $5 a month, you get more of this every week, baby.
We talked about a very good flamethrower dog on Friday.
Yeah, we did.
That's
really great. It's a great video and you should watch it.
We paywalled that because it's too good. It's too hot to handle because it's a flamethrower dog.
There we go. Speaking of too hot to handle,
too cold to hold.
We actually have a new podcast launching.
What?
Yeah. So tomorrow at about 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be streaming the season premiere episode of MILF Manor right before we record our new podcast, currently titled Are the Straights Okay?
Wow.
Now, the title could change. We're testing some things, but we'll be watching MILF Manor with you in the Discord tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I'll put an announcement there, too. That is going to be me and Kendall Lynn reacting to the worst of reality television, the new season of MILF Manor.
Love it.
It's going to be great. So check that out. Join the Discord if you're not already. It's literally free. So that's cool. You know what else is free? Liking the video if you're watching on YouTube.
That's right.
Subscribing, getting notified when we post new videos with that little bell, and leaving a comment about any of the things that we talked about today. It helps us out in the algorithm, and we appreciate it very much.
That's right. We also really appreciate everybody who has been sharing the show on social, letting friends know about it, and who has been hanging out in that Discord and suggesting stories for us. We really appreciate it when you do our job for us.
Thank you. Anthony, where else you doing job?
I do job around.
Okay.
Mostly internet. You can find me at Carboni, on Twitch at Anthony Carboni. Saige, where you do job?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel usually Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. But tomorrow I'm going to be recording a podcast, so my stream will be different this week. I'll see you around. How about you, Alex?
Yeah, you can find me on the internet on Twitter at Alder_Mancy. And a game that I've been working on launches their open beta on May 3rd. So go to PubGob Games to check out more about Confluence.
Name the game, coward.
Woo!
Confluence, the living archive.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending your morning with us. And we will see you on Friday.
Bye, BBs.